Hey guys, welcome back to the Superman Vault. My name is Zach. I have one of the largest collections of Superman memorabilia in the world, and this channel is all about highlighting some of the special items, pieces of American history, and sharing my love of Superman with you through the collectibles on which he appears. However, today we are not talking about Superman. No, he says, Zach, what's going on? That's why I came to this channel. Well, we're talking about his cousin. Today's video is all about Supergirl, who, rocketing from the pages of Action Comics number 252 as Superman's long-lost cousin, has made an impact on pop culture through toys, comic books, collectibles, movies, TV shows. She's been in just about everything. So we're going to show you some of my favorite Supergirl collectibles across my own Fortress of Solitude. So I can't start the video with anything other than this comic book right here. So this is my personal copy of Action Comics 252. Now, if you notice, it's in a little bit rougher shape. And I gotta say, guys, this is a regret I have. I bought a very nice copy at an auction when I was in dental school. Got it graded pretty high, but I needed to pay for textbooks. So I bought this cheaper copy in exchange and sold the copy and have not had a chance to buy a higher grade version back yet. But it's on the list. But in the meantime, I'll take this placeholder. It's all original. Featuring the Supergirl from Krypton. Is she friend or foe? Amazing, iconic cover. One of the key issues of all of Superman comics. Now, before I jump into some of the more historical stuff, I want to hit on some of the toys that Supergirl's featured in. So, Ideal did a 1960s action figure of Supergirl called the Comic Hero and Posen Dolls. And then 70s, Mego took the license and did a Mego version of Supergirl. Now, sadly enough, Kenner Toys never did a Supergirl action figure with their Superpowers line. So I was always upset with that. But lots and lots of modern action figures that showcase Supergirl in all different forms, and some really cool statues as well that show off the character. Really stellar advertising piece here for the Pepsi Super glasses with Supergirl. They did a Superman one as well, but it's always nice to see Supergirl get her own poster. If I haven't told you that, this is going to be one of those videos where you really want to stay to the end, because I have some of the most incredible pieces of all of Supergirl history in my collection. But until then, I'll show you this 1970s mask made in Spain of Supergirl. Kind of a weird little piece here. They did Superman as well, but again, Supergirl got her own in this case. Anybody else walk around their basement going, where are my Supergirl Underoos? Or is that just me? Again, we moved pretty recently, still unpacking all this stuff, and I swear I have them. I just don't know where they're at. Found them, 1970s sealed Supergirl Underoos. I've got Superman too, but now I don't know where that is, so that's going to officially drive me crazy for the rest of the day trying to find those. Up next is an iconic vintage toy from the 1960s by Conner, a set of push puppets where they did both Superman and Supergirl. Another really early piece of Supergirl merchandise, really cool. Here's another really old Supergirl. Now, this Superman and Supergirl, I don't know where they came from. Or I know where they came from. I found them at a local toy show, but I don't know where they originated, who made them. I actually thought they were custom one-of-one pieces that somebody made back in the day. And then I saw another listing online where somebody else had a set. So they were obviously made. I just don't know by who and in what exact year, but a really cool early piece of Supergirl merchandise. I feel like I have to mention this board game in the back here. This is a board game, I believe, made in Peru. But the reason why I want to show this is because it's thought that this is actually the first piece of Supergirl merchandise ever. That's right. This came out in the late 50s. And I believe from what I was reading through a listing on Hake's Auctions, this is thought to be the first appearance of Supergirl on any type of merchandise, even though she doesn't have her iconic blonde hair. A little bit more modern, but no less spectacular, from the Melissa Benoist CW Supergirl series, Season 4. This was signed by the entire cast at San Diego Comic-Con. So if you don't know how San Diego Comic-Con autograph signing works, you don't really get to sign up for what you want. You enter a lottery, and if you get your name drawn, whatever you win the signing for is where you get to go and get the autograph. So I had a buddy who was there who kind of signed up for everything. He ended up getting the lottery to go meet the cast of Supergirl and get the signatures, even though he had no interest in the show or had ever even seen it. So we worked out a trade to allow this amazing piece to come home to me, and now it resides proudly in my collection. Speaking of Melissa's Supergirl series, anybody remember the costume behind me? So this is from the pilot episode of Supergirl when she's trying on different costumes before ultimately deciding on the final costume that she'll wear through the remainder of the series. So this is really cool. It's an iconic piece for me because I instantly remember that scene in the pilot episode. Now, from what I can tell, I don't think the top piece was the final piece used. I got this from Hero Prop. It's definitely from production. I think the shorts are what was used on screen, but there's slight design differences in the way the top straps that I think this was probably one of the final pieces before they got to what they ultimately ended up using on screen. All right, now I want to talk for a minute about Helen Slater's Supergirl in the 1984 Supergirl movie, produced by the Salkinds, who did the Christopher Reeve films as well. For many, it is the Supergirl, and as of now, it's the only definitive on-screen adaptation where she has her own movie. Hopefully that changes here soon. I think it's supposed to with the new James Gunn movies. But for now, she is the Supergirl of the silver screen. I have a couple really special pieces in my collection. I got a lot of merchandising stuff, and we can get into that in maybe another video. But I do want to show you some of my favorite items in my Supergirl collection. So first, right here, if any of you have seen the movie, this ought to stand out right away. This is the original Omega Hedron prop used in the Supergirl movie. There were only 2 made for production. This is the only one still known to exist. Talk about an iconic piece. This is what the entire film revolves around. I got a couple pieces of merchandise right here where you can see Helen Slater holding it. You can see her holding it right here as well. So this actually was designed to be held in her hands. The wires would string underneath the suit behind her, and so that it could light up and spin in her hands. This came from a Profiles in History auction many years ago. I've received several offers on this since I bought it for more than what I paid for. I've turned them all down because, in my opinion, this is the best Supergirl prop in existence. And if you've stayed watching this long, you're in for a real treat because I'm about to show you one of my favorite pieces in my entire collection revolving around the same movie. Right here it is, ladies and gentlemen, check it out. This Helen Slater worn Supergirl, the movie 1984 costume. Just a beautiful piece. At the time I bought it, it was the most money I'd ever spent on a piece for my Superman collection. Really, really honored to own this. Okay, so let's break this costume down. So as you probably noticed, the tunic looks a little weird. That's a test tunic. If you look at some of the documentary, behind the scenes stuff, you can see her wearing tunics like this. This was the original design for the emblem before it ultimately changed to the Supergirl we know and love on screen. The rest of the costume is worn on screen, used in movie. I believe the cape is a stunt cape, meaning it was worn by Helen's stunt double for some of the stunt scenes. But then the skirts, leggings, and boots are all marked with Helen's initials. They've got Berman's and Nathan's tags. Absolutely stellar piece here. Again, this was another one acquired through Profiles in History. So this actually was sitting in Angel's Costumes in LA, who did like costume rentals and stuff like that for many, many years until it finally resurfaced and was sent to auction, where yours truly brought it home. So one of these days, I'll pull it out from behind the shelving here and get a really good look at it close up. Maybe we can dive into all the intricacies of the costume. But the purpose of today's video was just to give you an overview of some of the Supergirl merchandise out there and some of the more iconic historical Supergirl pieces in my collection. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel. That would be really awesome. Trying to get a little bit of a following here as I continue to share stuff. Also, find me on Instagram, Superman Vault. My goal is to share one amazing Superman collectible piece every day to kind of show you some of the amazing things that are housed here in my own Fortress of Solitude. Thank you guys again for watching, and enjoy your day.